It looks like it fits the game.
And we're back.
And we are back. We are playing Gloom, which is a pretty ridiculous game. I know Bones has played this many a time with me. It's a game where you can kind of get into your role playing if you want. You don't have to, but you can. It's kind of fun. So basically, each of us has our own family. So we got me over here, Duncan and Joe.
Hello.
We're gonna move the sweet candle over to here. So we have his cards here. We're gonna take Gloom away. So basically, each one of us has a family of people. I have Angel, the starry-eyed serial killer, cousin Mordecai, the red-headed stepchild, Balthazar, the unfaithful hound, the old dame, murderous matriarch, and Willem Stark, the disturbing handyman. Oh, that is bright. That is much.
Yep, just killed my boner.
How about you can read the cards?
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't know. I mean, you can't read the cards there.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they really need to. We'll be explaining them as we go.
Cool.
So, well, that's my family. I'll kind of put them over here. So basically, what we're going to do is you can play each of us during our turn can play a modifier, which is going to either increase health or what have you with each of the characters, or you can place a modifier that's going to take away their livelihood, pretty much. I'm not 100% sure which ones do what or what they are.
Welcome back, Drew. Welcome back, Jordan.
So the story icons, you have Beast, Blank, Death, Duck, Goblet. There's a whole lot of them. So you can have like romance, which sometimes helps, sometimes hurts your characters. You can have, someone got hit by a train and it's going to take away points for them, which the modifiers will show up on the cards. But we'll get to that in a little bit. You can play an event, so if someone gets married, which again could go wrong and could go right, and then ultimately you want to kill off everyone else's family. You're not necessarily cutting them off. You're just putting the story together for who's dying, you want to be the family that has the most points, basically. So if you can kill off your own character if you want, if you have like 30 points on him and you want to kill him off, kill him off. I screwed up the whole thing. I'll be over here in the middle a little bit. So I think I'll probably start once Corndog comes back. Corndog left us. He left us. So it's actually quite fun to play the game. It's something you don't have to role play, but even me, who's not a role player, I role play, and it's quite good. It's quite good. I'm not gonna lie. So basically, I mean, I feel like it's a shame that Jimmy's not here right now, because if he was, he would get the joke I'm about to play on somebody. Who is it? So let's everyone introduce their character so we know who's got who.
Okay, I'll go next. I have Alessandre Deville, the illustrated lady, Darius Dark, sinister ringmaster, Thumbelisa, the diminutive diva, Mr. Giggles, the creepy clown, and Samson O'Toole, the bearded man.
And I have Lord Slogar, the patriarch of my family, brain in a box. And I have Professor Helena, the matriarch. He's an eccentric inventor. And I have Elias E. Gore. He's an itinerant gravedigger. And I have Grogar, who's a little bear. He's a work in progress. And Melissa Slogar, who's just a cadaverous little child.
Nice. So basically, each turn, we can choose two of the following: play a modifier, play an event. Untimely death, you only get to play it on your first play, and it's your only turn, basically. If you play an untimely death, you're done. You can discard your entire hand, or you can pass if you don't want to play. So I feel like that little bear over there, He's let me what did you say about him? He's just not quite complete.
Mm-hmm.
He is a work in progress, you know. And
Progress.
he's such a work in progress that the family that has that little bear just it was an experiment that gone horribly wrong and was distressed by dysentery.
Oh, snap.
Row.
Russell.
It was an Oregon Trail bear.
He was an Oregon Trail bear. But you know, this little circus family over here, Mr. Giggles, I mean, you know about the traveling circus, of course, but Mr. Giggles, he had a problem with doorknobs, and he could not work them, and therefore was trapped on a train. Not so funny, meow, is it? And then I will draw up to 5 again.
So that adds a new modifier to my character.
Exactly. So
You cannot play event cards. All stops lead to a bloody death.
What do the minuses do?
So that's the points that are taken away from you. So you don't want your bear to die anytime soon, because right now you're at negative 25 points.
Okay. Who's next?
That's all you, sir.
Well, let's see here.
And you can, if you want, you can make the one character on somebody else's team just a tragic story. If you want. You can just have Mr. Giggles over there just take it. Just have a terrible life.
There's an
But you want all of the characters of an opponent to die. That's the ultimate goal.
Yeah. But, I mean, it could be something where you're just trying to knock the one down over and over and then kill him.
Yeah.
See? It's true. Dysentery is the enemy of all creatures, human and bear alike.
Yeah.
It is a true story.
Well, you know what? Poor old cousin Mordecai, the redhead stepchild.
Poor redheaded stepchild.
As most redheaded people are, they were shunned by society.
I mean, that makes sense. That just makes complete sense.
I'm going to let you guys choose light on or light off. Light on.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, my.
Light off. Let us know.
Let us know.
And as a family of carnies, the bearded man, quite too unattractive. So he took to drinking
Oh no!
and gained consumption.
My drunk bearded man.
Is this Jordan?
Pretty
You're not here to defend yourself. Get over it.
Yep. It's you, Broseph.
Drew says he thinks it's better off for this game.
Great. That's perfect.
I know, right?
Everybody loves that.
So gloomy.
Balthazar, the unfaithful hound, was wandering around and fell down the well.
Poor dog.
Balthazar, that old bitch.
How many you play?
2. You get to play 2. Unless you have an event, since apparently you can't play an event card now. I'm so confused on the bottom. I never pay attention to the bottom ones. I just pay attention to the numbers.
Start to my left, I'd randomly select and discard 2 cards.
Yeah, I don't understand how that works. So let's just not pay attention to that. We're gonna have a house rule right now. We're not gonna pay attention to this stuff right here. Because I don't think I ever have.
Elias Gore, the grave digger, was startled by some snakes while he was digging up some graves.
So then I draw a couple.
Now you'll draw up to 5, yeah. You know, cousin Mordecai, he was shunned. He was the red-headed stepchild. He had a very tough life. But you know what? He found, and this might be Jordan, he found his calling. He was diverted by drink. And you know what? Society liked him just a little bit more. Just a bit. So,
Thanks,
And-
Jimmy.
he diverted so much to the drink that he was then the toast of the town. People love that red-headed child. They love him.
Thanks for listening to us, Jimmy. Also, I mean, if you have a Bluetooth-enabled device in your car, it's a fun cast to listen to while you're driving. I'll speak from experience myself. So,
I do it mainly because I need to make sure we didn't screw anything up.
that's a true story.
Yes, but cousin Mordecai, he got a bit too arrogant in his self-righteousness. He gave up the drink and started talking bad about the queen. He was then castigated by her.
Oh, Mordecai, why would you do such a thing? He drank too much.
And then poor hound Balthazar was pierced by porcupines while investigating a random bush. Like Jordan.
It's all you, Corndog.
Yep.
All right. Man, we're just going to kill my family off, huh?
Is this Mordecai? Who's
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
That's
All right.
Mordecai.
Let's mess him up because he was ruined by the rum after he.
He was.
Yeah.
You know, Mordecai, he enjoyed his rum. He even thought he was once a pirate. But the rum is now all gone, and it ruined
You
him.
can play on your own. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've been doing that.
Samson, the bearded man, he had a picnic in the park to kind of lift his spirits.
So what's the events again? Wait,
Events are, you'll know them when you get them.
What happened with these down here?
Oh, we're just not paying attention to those.
Okay.
So, let's see. What horrible thing happened next?
You can play events at any time.
No. You can only play them during your hand. What happened? Oh, yeah. So, Grogara? What is the bear's name?
Grogar.
Grogar. You know, he had the dysentery, and the
Ooh.
dysentery is bad for everyone involved in the dysentery, and the family did not want to be labeled as a family who was dying of dysentery. So they decided that this poor experiment they had should be ended, and they tore him limb from limb.
Well, while Samson was in the middle of his picnic, he was perturbed by the pudding that he had.
Oh.
It genuinely scared the shit out of him. And then, however, Angel, the starry-eyed serial killer, while trying to burn one of her victims to death, was horribly burnt in the process.
So I have a question. How does a family or a thing die?
You place an untimely death on them. So actually, you can't do this one right now. It has to be your first play, and you can only play one untimely death.
I see.
How do you know that it's an impact? Can I see it?
It's got
It's just got
the skull with the
skull.
crow on there.
Okay, so if you don't have any of those,
Then throw those right there somewhere.
I mean, you can keep those if you're going to play something else.
Alright.
So just keep them here and then play your next
And-
card. Ow. Hot. No, I just smacked I did this with my arm. Yeah. Not feeling great on the arm.
But you know what? even though Grogar was somehow.
He's dead. You can't play anything on him. Yeah.
Alright then, Elias Gore, even though he was startled of stakes, it startled him so much that he had a very restful sleep. He slept without sorrows.
He slept without sorrows, sir. It's all you, Corndog.
Melissa Slogar, the cadaverous child, was being pursued by poodles. They might look silly, but they can strip the meat off of a rhinoceros in less than 1 minute.
Goddamn poodles, Jesus.
Willem Stark, the disturbing handyman, got in too much debt and was crippled by his creditors.
That sounds like Willem. Oh, Willem.
Defoe!
Now, Darius Dark, being the sinister ringmaster of the group, was a shady character, to say the least. So shady, in fact, like he was transporting bodies on the train for the circus. And you know what? FBI agents caught on to this, and they arrested Darius, and he was placed into prison. Now, Angel, that creepy, starry-eyed serial killer, somehow did a hit for the Catholic Church and was blessed by the bishop.
Oh, snap.
So if we don't pay attention to the bottom, event cards don't do much. Just so you know. But
Eventually, these two are worthless.
I mean, you'll still get the. Yeah, they're pretty much worthless.
Cool.
Yeah, the one I have. Well, okay. Let's say event cards are the ones you actually list in the bottom. We'll do that. And those will just go straight into a discard pile here.
Cool. So basically, I can only play these cards if they have that icon on them.
You have to play it first. So yeah, the untimely deaths you have to play as your first play, and then you can't play anything after it.
So then, can I say?
You can kill off Angel if you want.
No, I don't want to kill off Angel.
Or you can kill off whoever you want.
Nah, kill off cousin Mordecai, since he was drinking so much rum that he was burned when he poured it all over himself and then fell asleep.
Spontaneously combusted.
Oh, man.
And then
Nope. That's your only one.
Sucks.
You'll get to them. You can tell where they are in the deck because you see the skull.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it could be a event card too.
good.
Well, Darius Dark, while he was in prison, decided to start a new life and decided he was going to be charmed by the circus. Come back to a new career.
Came back to his circus. Apparently, his circus was definitely into the macabre.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Oh, sweet.
So we'll do this. We'll put these up to say they can't be.
While Melissa Slogar was being pursued by poodles, she was also then plagued by the pox from one of their bites.
So, no, she's not dead.
Even though the spell icon.
No, so it has to be over the face. Has to
Oh,
be
I
that.
see.
It became a stormy night. 2, 3, 4.
What does that do?
So I get to draw 4 cards and play 1 card, including an untimely death. So if I want to kill somebody, I can.
Very nice.
Which, as a matter of fact, I think I do. What happened to that one?
She was plagued by the pox.
Plagued by the pox. The pox is a terrible thing. It really is, and you know, what's this one's name? Melissa. She was consumed by the pox. She couldn't take it anymore and was consumed from within.
Stop killing my family.
And then I have to discard. Ooh. So apparently some event cards are played whenever. I did not know that. How many cards are we supposed to have? How many guys?
5.
5? Okay.
I like the idea of the clear cards that stack.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Okay, those are discarded. We'll actually just take those
Off the board.
off the board here. All you, sir.
You know what? The matriarch and patriarch of this family, this fine and noble family, after the death of their experimental teddy bear and their very own daughter, Lord Slogard made a run in Parliament. Being a brain in a box, he's very good at talking slowly. And he became incredibly popular in Parliament. And then Professor Helena Slogard, the eccentric inventor to her very core, finally found fame at a feast with one of her many parlor tricks. Kill them. Do it. Dare you.
Some very bad things must befall them first.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Willem Stark, while being crippled by his creditors, misunderstood what crippled meant, and well, he just had a tumble down the stairs.
Ooh. That's it. That is it for you. So, Mr. Darius Dark, he was, in fact, charmed by the circus. However, the church was not too fond of those bodies that put him in prison, and therefore they chastised him. And old Thumbelisa, they didn't quite like her either. She was small, and the children didn't like her after this incident with the bodies and all of that such that happened with that family. And therefore the children decided to chase her around.
And to add more sorrows to your family,
Oh no.
Mr. Giggles, who was trapped on the train, found out that it was a haunted train and was perpetually pestered by poltergeists.
Oh. Ghost Train. I've seen that movie.
Yeah, an angel who was blessed by the bishop. And the great unwashed, they're not too fond of the church. As soon as she left the chapel, she was beaten by beggars.
As she ran from the beggars, from the chapel, and the beatings, she ran out into the fog and disappeared, never to be seen again.
Poor angel. Hmm. Oh, Elisandre, the illustrated lady. She was not too fond of being in the circus. And there was a reason. She was scared of the wildlife. But she had a reason. Those tigers looked vicious. And one night, she was taunted by tigers.
We taunted by tigers.
Apparently.
Hmm.
Who knew? And you know, good old Elias.
Igor.
Elias, he did sleep well, but when he woke, refreshed from that long night's sleep, he decided that it was time for some bagels and lock. I don't know if you've had bagels and lock, but it's delicious. Delicious. However, he was sickened by that salmon. The salmon mousse.
Yep. In Mr. Giggles, in his terror of being pestered by poltergeists, couldn't breathe until he suffocated and ran out of air.
Poor Mr. Giggles. That's all you going to
Oh, I don't know. Ooh, that's a really good. Yeah, that's a good one.
The murderous matriarch who has yet to show up is cursed by one of her peers, an old crone.
That's a gnarly one.
All while being menaced by mice.
This is an event card, right?
Yes.
Salmon of Doom. That is right.
You know, even though that murderous matriarch was cursed by a crone and menaced by mice, while she was on the run, she found love by the lake. And as weird as it may sound, Balthazar finally decided to become faithful to something and was wondrously well wed. Don't ask me who married the dog. It was weird.
Chance, begin again. I can discard all modifier cards on one living character. As you said, who would marry a dog? She immediately divorced him.
So they all go, right?
Yeah, they all
Yeah, all modifiers.
Yeah, there's a lot more to this game with the black at the bottom.
Yeah. Which we should probably end up doing, but it makes it go quicker if we don't.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like it needs to happen. Yeah, I can tell at this point it's getting a little dark, but we'll finish it out. We're almost done. We almost have everyone fairly dead.
Yep.
Is it you still?
Nope.
Oh.
Nope, I just play behind that card.
Balthazar, the unfaithful hound, was almost the last sole heir, but yet somehow he got written out of the will.
No one wants to give everything to the dog.
That's right.
But Professor Helena Slogar, who was finding her fame at a feast, somehow contracted the gangrene and was galled.
You know, even though Balthazar was written out of the will, and he was just divorced, he was a dog. And that dog really didn't give a shit.
Boom!
And he died without cares. My family's almost dead.
Yeah.
Well, Elias Igor,
Yeah, it does.
even though he was sickened by salmon, he was still just delighted by all the ducklings around him.
The man. He's a simple man.
He is. And
I think it's hard to read their names after a while.
Mm-hmm.
oh, and that poor old dam. She may have found love on the lake. But then a bunch of wasps just stung the shit out of her.
Damn. As if being stung to death wasn't enough. Well, not by death, but she then got swindled by a salesman trying to sell her some bee salve.
Too bad she didn't know that wasps are bees.
Old Lord Slogar, with his fame, was then finding himself widowed at his wedding.
Man.
Poor guy.
That poor man.
He was already married.
Nah.
He's polygamous.
Yeah.
You know, things did not look up for Alessandre. They did not look up at all. As a matter of fact, just as she got over her taunting by the tigers, she was burnt by a mob.
And poor old dam, the last lady of the family. The matriarch of the family, the only last surviving member, died old and alone.
But she somehow survived. Her loneliness brought her to life. I don't know how that worked.
I'm up next, yeah?
Yes. No. Yes.
Yeah, I think I got skipped. That's all.
Oh yeah, you didn't. I canceled out his card.
Well, someone got word of all the bee stings and all of the honey and thought that she was just a sweet thing and ended up baking her into a pie.
She only escaped death once.
So I'm out. I cannot play anymore.
She only played a death card, though.
Actually, I don't know if that's the case. I'm gonna find out before I stop.
Lord Slogar, though, found some maggots in his meat at his wedding.
Okay, before we start or continuing on, I just want to double check. I'm pretty sure I'm out. Yeah, we'll just say I'm out. and then I'll read up, and if I can still play, I'll play later.
Well, we play an untimely death card and another card.
You can only play an untimely death card unless you have an event that says otherwise.
Oh, since you killed his character.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you killed my character. You can't play another one.
Oh,
Slow
right.
Guard did not find the maggots in
Nope.
any of his foods.
Retcon the maggots.
It was a bad dream.
It was strange.
You know what? Just gonna discard my entire hand.
Alright.
And draw again.
Okay, Joe, it's gonna be you.
Poor famous Lord Slogar. He was widowed at his wedding, and he couldn't live with himself anymore, and came down sick with the measles after not taking care of himself, and died.
That's it, right?
Well, Thumbelina, being bold and very gross, rolled without grace. And Darius Dark, feeling a bit too spry for his age, broke many bones in a tragic circus accident.
Who is this more appropriate to? Oh, perfect. Elias the Gravedigger, who was delighted by his ducklings, found himself devoured by weasels, though, instead.
Those ducklings only brought him momentarily joy. Oh, I need to draw one. Sorry.
Well, Darius Dark, after all of his mishaps, just died of despair.
I don't have any death cards, so.
You, sir, got mauled by a manatee. This was for who? Helena.
Professor Helena Slogar.
Mm-hmm. I still don't have any deaths. So
But after losing her husband and her family, she decided to remarry
oh, snap.
and had a magnificent wedding. And then your inbred
Bearded man.
Samson O'Toole had a horrible holiday with Thumbelina.
Oh, snap. I only have a one to play on, so.
Oh, Helena Slogar. She was first scarred by scandals, and then she ended up finding maggots in her meat.
That old Samson just couldn't get anything right. And he drank too much
Oh,
rye
snap.
and died.
Caught up.
Next death will decide.
Are deaths events?
Kind of.
Yeah, there. You only play one.
It's kind of its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, finding maggots in your meat would finally just lead you to drink.
Yes, but old Thumbelina, being the last of her clan, and being quite, I'd say, portly, ate herself to death and choked on a
Can I
bone.
play that?
No. So this one you can't. So an event card is different than an untimely death.
Okay.
So that is the game, but that does not mean that you won the game.
Still,
Because your worth is, let's go, 15, 10. Okay. You have 25 plus, so let's go minus 25. 25 and 30. You're negative 55 worth.
I feel pretty confident though.
Bam. Joe's family isn't worth squat.
Got destroyed.
Negative 170.
How can you tell that?
That's what these add up to.
Oh wow.
So you, sir, were worth nothing.
That's what happens to every Carney family.